Are you searching for an electric sedan, maybe of the price range of a Tesla Model 3, but you want the space of a Tesla Model S? VW says, we have the answer for you now, but does it really work? How good is the all-new VW ID.7, including a driving review? We'll find out with Thomas Fuel in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go here with that front, and you can see the light strip then goes all the way across the front. Pretty nice look. And also here, these ones are the optional matrix lights, IQ light. They have an additional illumination on the inside that looks pretty fancy. Lower part here is a black contrast, and this beautiful color is called Moonstone Gray. 4 meters 96 or 195 inches is the length of the VW ID.7. Wheels 19 to 20 inch. These ones are the bigger ones you can see right here. Black contrast in the lower part. Overall a very elegant styling, I feel. It has this really fluent roof. This does a very good CD value actually at 0.23. And it is also a fastback style, so no classic sedan. I will show you right here that the hatch then opens in that way, giving you a free access. Soon we'll tell you more about the space on the inside and about the trunk. Rear design here, we can see this light animation here that is greeting us when we approach the vehicle from behind, and then the light strip goes all the way through. Pretty cool actually. This approaching feature is also possible in the front and looks quite cool. So when I get closer to the vehicle, then it opens, and here you can see there's this animation of the front headlamps. It's supposed to give you some human feeling interaction. You know, it's like an eye looking left and right to greet you. There we go. Turning indicators in the front, very visible. And this one here is the so-called Pro model. Has the smaller battery with 77 kilowatt hours net and an acceleration figure of 6.5 seconds. Then there later will be the Pro S model, which has a bigger battery at 86 kilowatt hours, and that one we expect a 5.4 seconds in the acceleration. And now one of the most exciting features of the vehicle. Usually all the charging flaps open sideways, but look at that. Da-da, da-da. Oh my God. I mean, it's a nice idea. Why not? Because then it's maybe protecting against rain or something with the flap itself. Overall, I think pretty cool, this charging flap. What about the recharging times? So this Pro model here with the smaller 77 kilowatt hour battery, we have a 170 kilowatt peak, and that means 30 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge. The Pro S model with the 86 kilowatt hour battery will have a 200 kilowatt peak in fast charging, and then goes 25 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge. Khaki, high gloss black stuff, don't like it that much. Then the door handle itself, flush, and it does give you some feedback from underneath. Door closing sound, really good, like that. Then inside materials, soft touch at the top part, high grade leather right here with this blue contrast. Also nice how the door handle is integrated. This one here is all hashtag capacitive BS, not my favorite, and also that you don't only have two window levers, but that's also splitting opinions. So in here, door pockets are also covered with felt on the inside, and that's where you open the trunk. Interior, steering wheel is already animal free, so looking forward into the future, or actually into the present, then here illuminated hashtag capacitive BS buttons at the steering wheel. In all new electric generations that come next in a couple of years, they will go back to physical buttons again there too. And then here on the seat, this is then the microfiber seat, the most elaborated one. This one is available in this black styling with blue contrast, or also in the bright styling that also looks pretty cool. The seat logic is that you begin with a base fabric seat, then you step up to a normal microfiber seat, and then you have these two elaborated microfiber seats, these ergo active seats. Here in the front you can also put the lower part a little bit longer. You also have a seat massage. Then headroom 186 or 189. There's a lot of headroom left, no problem. Steering wheel, manual control up and down, in and out, that's it. And these seats here are super comfortable, and I feel these are among the most comfortable seats out there in general. And I mean, there are very good seats also with the competitors meanwhile and so on, but I feel they have among the best seat ergonomics overall. So I can very well imagine going a long road trip here now. So I really love this perforated microfiber with the cooling function. It's the best you can get, like a microfiber fabric, and then also cooled, the best for hot summer days. Interior cockpit overview, pretty clean. 15-inch screen, always that size here. Digital instruments, small, but they are there. And also the head-up display, a real one projected into the screen. You pick the gears right here, forward for D, reverse like this. In the D mode, by the way, you use the brake pedal for recuperation or the automatic recuperation when the car is in front of you. And when you press it one more time forward for the B mode, that is then close to one pedal driving. Just pick it depending on your liking. First of all, you still have these sliders, and I don't like these sliders. However, it's better to have these sliders than not to have anything at all besides the screen. And they are also backlit now. It's hard to see it when it's light outside. This is then the volume control here, for example, but you can also mute it here on the left side. Interesting is that as for the seats, you either press here for seat cooling or here for seat heating, always stays in that place. And if you want more elaborate commands, click here. Then here, for example, the dry boost, this one then heats and ventilates at the same time when you're getting wet or something and then get in the vehicle. Cool idea. And here, by the way, you can also trim the seat massage, put it more intense. And I really have to say, this is the best seat massage that Volkswagen has offered yet. This is more luxury than in a VW Touareg, for example. Wow, that's really strong now. I'm really starting to like seat massage. Apple CarPlay or Android Auto integration looks like this. Wow, super large indeed. So on the one hand, a large screen can be distracting. On the other hand, when everything is large, you can easily press it also, and then it's less distracting when you can easily press things. Both CarPlay and Android Auto also available wireless. And a very important option, the DCC, the Adaptive Suspension Dynamic Chassis Control. Also optionally available here for the ID.7. And where to pick the driving modes, because there is no separate hotkey for that. That's again something, not sure if I like that. But at least you can access it quite easily. You press mode here in the top button, and then there is this large selection. Here more comfortable, here sport here for example, also changes the color, or individual. It's also quite cool. So you can have an individual mode and then really rule the DCC from minus to plus. How does it work? This is kind of like always the preset. This is like when you would have sport, and DCC always then rules between the spectrum. 14 speaker Harman Kardon system is an option, and you can also set your different sound profiles. This is more for voice, this is more for club music, or you can have a more, for relaxing music and so on. So it depends. And overall, I feel, it's a very crisp quality, so that also fits to this more premium approach here. Spacious middle console, first of all. Below there's large space, like this. And then above that, there's this cover. Here, the very early reviews were here a little bit different. They have now changed this material quality. No high gloss black, just at the side. So it's actually quite cool, this matte atmosphere. Just these rubber pads here, they are not the best from the build quality, I feel. Then we slide this one open, a lot of space. In the front, there's an inductive charging pad. Doesn't have the best contact though, I feel. I prefer always the cable connection. And then cup holders, they hold also smaller bottle side, but you can also take that whole thing out if you like. And then there's this really nice split middle console with more space underneath. Rear seating area, same nice styling with the perforated microfiber. And then we can see inside of the door, soft touch here, nice beautiful design, microfiber inserts there, and also felt at the inside of the door pockets, hardback just in the lower part. And when I take a seat here, I was pretty far behind. Like this, I would probably be driving, but in any case, there's a lot of legroom left here. And that's also, for example, even longer or even more than in Tesla Model S. So among all of the competitors, they have so much legroom. Why is that? They use a pretty short front hood, and then they put the length all the way in the rear. It's actually also fairly comfortable here. Put up the head restraint, and then, headroom, it is this falling roofline for the CD value. With my height, it does exactly fit. I can still put a hand over my head, that's it. And then I could also sit in the middle part using that EV platform. It's a little bit stiffer in the middle part, but that's actually it. So a very well usable rear. This glass roof is fixed and does not have a cover. However, you can see there is this electrochromatic shade. So I use this slider, slide forward or backward. And in the middle part, you have a separate climate unit for the rear seats, hashtag capacitive BS though, and even rear seat heating. And underneath, some USB-C chargers. Let's check out the trunk or the boot. And this is the big advantage to some other sedans, like also the Tesla Model 3. Here, this fast big opening, such an easy access like with an Estate. And you have a width of about 1 meter or 40 inches. And also the length is actually a little bit more than 1 meter or 40 inches. That's good. Underneath you have some more space, and you can also take out this whole first cover. This one to have an even loading sill, but you can also gain more height. And underneath that one here, you even can store another charging cable. Total length then to the front seats, and that's of course pretty impressive here. Yeah, that goes into direction of 185 or 73 inches. Thomas's driving lounge with the VW ID.7, and we start here. We have here the DCC set on the comfort mode at the moment, and that's working very well. 20-inch wheels, of course, always means a little bit less comfort than with the 19-inch wheels. If you want the softest comfort, you would go to the individual DCC mode, put it all the way to the left side, and also go for the 19-inch wheels. Then you actually have the softest ride. Now I'll go to the sport mode. Gives you best boost, best throttle input, and so on. Suspension is stiffer, and I'll accelerate out in this corner, rear-wheel drive. Let's see also how the steering is, and like how calm it is, and how this acceleration works. Then I would say, let's go. Plop, that's 76 kilometers an hour. That was beautiful. Nice acceleration, and you see how smooth the steering went back and so on. Wow, super nice. Very controlled feeling, and also a nice boost out. So even if you go for the Pro model here with the little bit smaller battery, you have a very good acceleration. And for me, this acceleration out of the corner is always a very good test to see how controlled the vehicle remains. So now getting on the motorway, and we have acceleration from 50 kilometers an hour to, what's it here in France? 130 usually, right? Let's go. 100. Plop, 130. That was 50 to 130 kilometers an hour. Went really quick, like that. Very smooth. Now, of course, there's rain outside, but we can even then hear the drops and so on. But from the wind noise, it's actually pretty fine so far. It's a very rough tarmac here, so it's often hard to compare the vehicles really, and even if I would have a dB meter, because it would need to be the very same road, same day, same weather, and so on. Yeah, but so far, wind noise, there's nothing disturbing coming from the side mirrors and so on, and it feels really smooth and planted here on the road, also on the motorway. Lane change, good reaction. So it's not too bad today though. Normal lane change, yeah, it's a very smooth driving feeling also here at higher speeds. I like that, activating also the lane keeping assist or this cruise control, and you can really relax here, smooth reactions once again. So it also does very well here on the motorway. If you now consider a possible difference to a vehicle that is even more expensive, like Audi, BMW, Mercedes, for example, what would be the crucial difference there? Yeah, maybe that they are a little bit more silent here on the motorway, because when we're a little bit faster here now, it's totally okay. But I actually would say that, for example, like a Mercedes EQE or like the upcoming Audi models, we will also test that, of course. I would say that they are more silent on the motorway. However, once again, tarmac is quite rough, so we have to do more tests also when the road is a little bit smoother. Here on the countryside road, look at that. The car is keeping me in the lane, although I do not have the cruise control and the active lane keeping assist set. So this is the emergency lane keeping assist, so to speak. And it's showing me in the head-up display when the car is realizing that there's a line, and look at that. Okay, now I'm, just to be safe when another car is coming there. But you've already seen that even though it's just the emergency lane keeping assist here, it is being kept in the lane and also in a very smooth way. So that is very impressive. So pretty elaborated, these assistance systems. And I can also set here different modes. For example, also the travel assist. This is the most elaborated mode, so to speak. And then when I activate it, once again, feedback in the head-up display, I can set the speed here. when I press a little bit firmer, it's 10 kilometer steps, and small steps is 1 kilometer step. And now here the active lane keeping assist. It's the difference now set. And this is of course then even better actually. And it is also reacting in a pretty smooth way. So it feels like you can trust these systems. There's still level 2. That means it's not meant to be like fully autonomous or something. You have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. Here now, speed sign recognition. So it automatically set the speed from 90 down to 80. So that's also good. Road is getting a little bit wet, so I'm keeping my hands on the steering wheel just in case. But here you can see even these bends here on the countryside road being mastered very well. So hats off to this elaboration of the assistance systems. And of course I can always take over the steering wheel myself, because here in the countryside road it's also really fun to drive. Now with the wet road there's of course more noise from the outside, but the overall noise level here so far is really low, so very good. Of course here aerodynamics also help for that when the wind is flowing very, very nicely over the vehicle. You really feel that you would be driving a sporty vehicle. It's a low seating vehicle, not truly a sports car, but since all these electric vehicles have a low center of gravity, so much weight in the bottom center of the vehicle, then also they are usually a lot of fun to drive. And the steering input here is really crisp and direct. It also changes again according to the driving mode. For example, when we go to the sport mode, then have a little bit more feedback from the steering wheel. But as I told you earlier, you can also go to the individual mode. And then you can, for example, say, hey, I always want a soft suspension, but I want more feedback from the steering wheel, so that would also be possible. Now we're back. What about our consumption and real-world range round loop here? So first of all, I also compared to the Tesla Model 3. There we recently had with the facelift around 16 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometer, so 4 miles per kilowatt hour. We drove a little bit slower on the motorway there, and it was almost comparable temperatures. Here now temperatures at 15 degrees Celsius, so around 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So here maybe it was a little bit warmer, but then we drove a little bit faster on the motorway, mainly 130 kilometers an hour, so like 80 miles an hour, and then also some city traffic, some topography changes. Result 19 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometer, so that's worse than with the Tesla Model 3. Let's see, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That means for this small battery here, for the 77 kilowatt hour battery, it would mean a real range of 400 kilometers or 250 miles. If you could go for the bigger 86 kilowatt hour battery, that would mean a real range of 500 kilometers or 310 miles. There were years where I did recommend Volkswagen when someone asked me, hey, I wanted a good car, like an good average and so on, I can do everything with. And I said, yeah, go for VW Tiguan, maybe a Seat Ateca, go for Golf Mark 7, Mark 7.5. Then came a time with all these software issues and so on, where I could not really recommend buying a Volkswagen because there was so much wrong actually about it. The systems were always failing and so on and so on. The Golf 8 is actually worse than the Golf 7 and so on and so on. Here I really have to say Volkswagen is back, and I can very well recommend a Volkswagen vehicle again. The ID.7 will be a serious competitor in the electric vehicle